What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
Good evening.
I tell y'all while I have my shades short. But welcome to NightCap. We have missed you, Dr. Akeem.
It's been, listen, being a grad student, and yeah, I'm glad to be back. Wednesday nights were taken away from me, a student again, but I get to be on with the bishop and the pastor and the doctor tonight. What does your sweatshirt say? Save.
It says
dope.
save, dope, successful, and black.
I like it.
I like it. I like it. You know, I like them colors anyway.
Those colors that, can we move on?
Yes.
I was about to get nauseous.
Listen, if you guys are joining tonight, this is one of my favorite nights. I have my notebook, I have my pen, I have my tea, because we're going to get into something that I think most of us struggle with. And Bishop and Lady G have some great nuggets and wisdom to help us overcome those struggles. So listen, share this live. Tag someone, stop what you're doing, tag your significant others, get your good girlfriends on, get your homeboys on, because this is going to be an amazing, incredible 30 minutes of powwow information.
It is.
Is. So without further ado.
Well, first of all, thank y'all for having us on. Because it is your show. It's the doctors. And so it's just, I feel like Johnny Carson. After he retired, it just went past it. So, but we're glad to be on. Pastor G, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, it's good to see you.
Good to see
you. She is looking skinty.
Looking good, Pastor.
Looking real good.
Yeah, she is looking skinty. That's for sure.
In a good way.
Listen. Ain't nothing sickly about her.
I'm working on it. I'm following your lead, Dr. Sharice.
Listen, health is wealth.
It is.
Well, I know some skinny broke people, so I'm not really gonna go with that. So, and I know some fat rich people. I'm just saying. But seriously though, she looks amazing, and you look as always amazing. And we're so glad to see Dr. King Walker, who I had broken up with in my heart, but I had to repent when I found out what was really going on. I took it all personal, but we'll talk about that another time. So, so y'all want us to jump right in since we only got
because
we're talking about these healthy relationships. Toxins are dangerous to our bodies.
Yes.
What we put in our bodies, what we put in our minds are dangerous. And so tonight we're going to talk about removing toxins from relationships. So help us out. We just want to jump in.
Well, we'll jump right in. Let me tell y'all the backstory of this. All right. Okay. Here's the backstory. I have this bad habit of biting my nails and I've done it since I've been a little boy. So it's not like this is new. And it ends up getting infected, and then it gets all greenish and stuff, and it pulses. And so, first of all, y'all gotta make all them faces. So I have to then go through the process of getting out the infection. So take a safety pin or whatever pin, and and I know that stop, woman of God. And so spiritual daughter of mine. And then it takes about 3 days to get that stuff out, whatever case may be. So I'm flying on the plane Sunday, and the Lord spoke to me about a situation, and the Lord said it's never going to prosper until it gets the infection out. And immediately my whole week has kind of been open to that revelation of getting the infection out or removing the toxins. See, I said it right. Removing the toxins out of your relationships, out of your financial management, because for oftentimes we poison our own lives.
Facts.
with bad decisions, relationships we don't want to resolve, or stuff in relationships we don't want to resolve. So I want to encourage everybody to go ahead and invite 5 people right now. And here's why, because Pastor G and I are going to take some time. And of course, we always love having Akeem and Sharice, in conversation. And so we've got 5 things to remove toxins out of relationships. And we want to jump right in. And then after we're done, babe, I'm going to bed. I'm going straight to bed because I got a long day tomorrow. Oh Lord, because I am the dean of the 7 DeWitt Park. I'm the dean of Akeem School.
Yes.
Yeah, and Akeem is going to be on the advisory board. I'm announcing it officially tonight. He's going to be on the advisory board. That's why I was texting him, because he was supposed to send anyway. Okay, so but he wasn't feeling well. So and then he does that to further make me feel well.
No, I'm trying not to. I don't want nobody texting, man. What's wrong with you on this live?
My conviction got deeper when you played this song. Oh, okay. So, but in all seriousness, so the first thing is the first thing we're going to recommend is that you have to identify the toxins through open, honest, caring communication. You have to identify the poison, the infection in your relationship. And that process begins with communication. Babe, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. Couples struggle with being honest with those hard conversations or those hard topics. Most people like to avoid conflict. And it's like, if I can just let it sit there, it'll eventually get better or eventually go away. And it doesn't. So you have to identify those problems, those toxins that are poisoning the relationship, and, communicate where you are, how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
There's really, of course you have discernment, but it's so much better when you can actually verbalize, okay, this is what I feel is a problem. This is how it makes me feel, and this is how I think it's damaging our relationship.
It's interesting, and that's spot on. It's interesting. Most of our relationships struggle because we don't mind being honest, but we struggle at being compassionate. So when because and we hear couples. You and I've done a lot of stuff with couples. So we hear couples all the time talk about, I'm gonna tell them the truth. I'm gonna tell them how I feel. But the absence of compassion makes the conversation teeter on being combustible, explosive, and ultimately damaging. The other day we were talking to a couple, and you said something, and you said something about me that meant everything to me. About conversation, about the way about when I'm talking to you. What did you say?
I said, because I know your heart, and I know that you would never intentionally say anything to hurt me, it makes it easier to swallow those hard comments, because I know it's not, there's not any you're not being facetious. You're being honest, and you're very you're compassionate. You try to say it. You try to say what you need to say without hurting my feelings. And when you know somebody's trying to do that, even if it hurts your feelings a little bit, it makes it easier to swallow.
And it's interesting, and the reason why I wanted you to say that, because I feel the same way about you. It's like there are things that because and we jokingly say this, and when you get older, I don't know how I ended up by myself. Okay, I got nervous. It's interesting when you're in a relationship with someone. It is easy to live in offense because you're daily in their space, whether it's through phone, FaceTime, or just physical. You're always in their space, or you're in their space every day. And so the one thing that I think that we do well, especially now, is, and because we've got time in, it helps, But one of the things I think that we've learned to do better is to say what needs to be said without saying it in a way that makes us regret we ever said it.
Yeah.
Because here's reality. For any man out there, hear me, Akeem, hear this. Women parent. A good woman parents the man. I hate it sometimes. I'll admit it. And I hate it more so out of ego than out of anything else. It ain't really because I'm saying she's wrong, it's out of ego. Like tonight, before we came on, right? I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. And Akeem helped. He's a traitor. He's a traitor. In the words of Think Like a Man, I can't believe that a man did that to me, right? But Akeem is a different breed of brother. So I've been saying toxics with an X and I and a C. Shut up now, I'm talking. And so my wife said, no, that's not what it is. It's toxins with an N, right? Now I'm the guy that has 2 degrees. I'm the dean of the seminary. I sit in a seat of higher ed. I said a C. Now, of course, the king said, no, Bishop, no, she's right. It's an N. So I was by myself, right? I was by myself. But I'm strong enough to be by myself because I'm a by myself kind of guy. I'm going to finish my story. So my wife says that, and my ego says, no, I'm going to stay with the C. But, the N was right. It was. But again, I'm the bishop. I'm the dean. I'm all these different people, right? So, no, but it was funny, though, because 5 years ago, but 7 or 8, 9 years ago, I would have got really offended.
Wow.
First of all, she said it in front of people, right? So I would have got offended. But here's what I discovered. Now, and I need everybody to get this. When you grow up in a relationship, your ego doesn't offend the quality of your relationship. Because if your spouse or your significant other is right, you don't fight for wrong because you can't handle the truth, even if it's in front of other people. And honestly, and I'll tell y'all this, your spouse begins to appreciate you more when they can tell you the truth and you don't act offended. Because now they say, you know what? I can protect him. And for most of us in relationship, our egos are too big to be humble. Because humility is what makes a relationship work. Not sex, not money, not looks. What makes a relationship work is humility.
That's true.
So let me ask the question: how do you decipher between or discern if a person has toxins, but they present? How do you discern between a toxic person and a person that has a good heart? They just have toxic ways.
I'm gonna let my wife answer that because that's a great question.
Yeah,
That's a great question, okay.
So to make sure I'm clear, someone who's actually toxic or someone who just has toxic ways?
Right. So how do you discern, do I stay with, I love this person, but do I leave because they're just toxic, right? So we're talking about removing toxins. I can't remove the toxins because this person is just toxic. So I just need to remove them from the relationship. Or someone that is really a good person, they just have some stuff that I need to see. If I stay with them long enough, I hope that we can remove and move to a better place.
Yeah, I think with that, that's more of a it is a get to know someone, give it a little time to see what their motives are. And as you get to know someone, you can tell if they just don't know any better. And also, are they willing to work on it? If they're willing to work on it, you can see the effort, then that's worth staying there for, to see. And also, you always got to pray about it, but that's worth waiting if you see improvement, you see their heart for you, their heart to change to make the relationship better. But if it's like, well, that's just me, it's just how I am. I don't know if that's worth staying there and taking the consequences from that.
And you want to know, and that's a great answer, and it's a great question, Akeem, because if that, and again, I we use ourselves a lot. If I brought some toxic tendencies to the relationship. I brought some toxins to it.
About that.
Yeah. And the thing that has been so amazing is, and I want everybody to kind of put this in the thread if you want to. The thing that's been so amazing is you have to be patient enough to let the infection run its course. You got to be patient enough to let the infection run its course. And you got to be courageous enough to do what it takes to get the infection or the toxins out of your relationship. So like Pastor G has been patient with me, and everybody knows. I mean, if you listen to us do enough of these, everybody knows the stuff we have talked about. But I think that one of the things that has been so amazing for me has been watching how we slowed down our pace, but we amped up the positivity that would deal with the negativity.
Yeah.
So I didn't rush her trying to be something anymore. I slowed down. She didn't rush me. She slowed down and said, okay, I'm going to give you some space to be better.
Something just hit me, Bishop.
Yes.
That the loving correction on both sides, the patience, that served as an antibiotic.
Woo!
And that hit me when you said that you gotta let it run its course. But in order for it to run its course, sometimes you gotta take an antibiotic.
Sharice, am I the only one feeling uncomfortable on this line right about now? Are you feeling like this?
I didn't sip my tea the whole time.
Okay, yeah, it's over my head.
This whole antibiotic and Bishop is shivering and ruined. And I'm like, wait a minute, we just need to just.
That was incredible. Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, we can go on. That just hit me when you said that.
Let's sit there.
And what's amazing about it is that when you consume the relational antibiotic and your relationship begins to heal, you gotta then change the behavior internally so your partner can experience the benefit externally.
Yeah.
It's wow. That was wow.
Work. Getting rid of toxins is work.
Girl, if I was home, I would kiss you in the mouth. Ooh, I kiss you so hard until I start crying. Ooh, I just get so excited. Ooh, when this FaceTime is over, I'm gonna call you, see how you do. But when this over, I'm gonna FaceTime to see how you do. But it's interesting. I think the next thing, and we only got a few minutes, is as you identify, you have to agree on boundaries. Yeah. You have to agree on boundaries, and that's why you don't get healed in a relationship if you don't talk. Sex doesn't heal you, right? Sex will only delay distance. Yeah. Because eventually you're going to not feel fulfilled while you're being fulfilled. Because when when you clean up and you roll over and you go to bed, you're going to wake up the next day and you're going to begin to question, what's wrong with me that I keep having sex with somebody that doesn't speak to my heart? And so you have to agree on boundaries. And I'll just throw these three out there, and then you can jump in. The first one is that you have to agree on the intent. You have to agree on intent. Okay, what do we mean when we do what we do? You have to agree on intent. Secondly, you have to agree on content. There are certain things we ain't gonna say to each other, right, no matter what. And there's a certain way we ain't gonna say it to each other. And my wife, again, I give my wife credit for helping me grow up as a man. Even though I was in my 40s, she helped me grow up. So it's certain things, even when I have conversations with people, and I love Akeem. Akeem is the little brother who agitates me to want to fight him, and I can't fight him. Right? He can agitate me in arguments. He really can. He really can. And it's all in fun. But it's interesting. Even in that, I only go so far, and that's because of her. Right? And I'll only go so far. Content. What words have been removed from your vocabulary when you went into this relationship with them? What are the boundaries of what you will not say? How far will you go?
Yeah.
My wife is never going to be called a B by me.
Right.
I'm never going to cuss at her. I'm never going to cuss at my wife. Not. When we get, when we have our moments, what ain't going to come out of my mouth is a 4-letter word directed at her. There are boundaries we have set. She don't do that to me. There are boundaries we have set. And then conduct. I'm never going to put my hand on her. She's never going to put her hand on me. If we're that mad and we don't get there very often, is like once a year, we will be on opposite sides of the bed. I've noticed our behavior. We don't put ourselves in violent moments. We don't put ourselves in unhealthy moments. We don't get in each other's face screaming. Conduct is big for us. Content is big for us. Okay. All right, babe.
I think that boundaries are set by each couple, because you may have, everybody has triggers. Wow. And sometimes those triggers are from previous relationships.
Yes.
Where something made you feel or do a certain thing. Well, that comes from learning your spouse, and okay, now I'm not going to ever say this because I know how this is going to make them feel. And so you got to have your different boundaries based off of your own experiences.
Now, I do have a question about boundaries. So what happens when in the beginning you don't set a boundary? And then you notice later on you may need to set some boundaries because maybe the person is not aware that they cheated past, that line in the sand.
Yeah.
And sometimes setting those boundaries become uncomfortable or put that person in a position to maybe feel rejected or cause like arguments. How do you get past those moments when people wait too late to set a boundary?
Bishop, do you think it's ever too late to set a boundary?
It's never too late to set a boundary.
I don't think so.
Because a relationship is always emerging. Mm-hmm. And so, and when you start in a relationship, you're not sure if that's the relationship you want. That's the relationship you're trying. Mm-hmm. So when your relationship gets to a certain level, boundaries are necessary and both partners should want them set.
Right.
Right? Now, if you're trending towards an intimate relationship and you're discussing future and the person does not want to set boundaries with you or set boundaries that protect you, because understanding, and those who are watching, you put it in the thread, boundaries protect your partner, right? I mean, Akeem, I didn't set the boundaries. We didn't set the boundaries of me hollering at my wife because it was good for me. We set the boundaries of me talking to her a certain way because it was necessary for her. The boundaries that were set in terms of her managing me are boundaries that she created, that we created together, but she chose to commit to it because she knew the impact it had on me. Mm-hmm. So if somebody loves you verbally, but don't set boundaries to protect you, that's a sign that they will continue to disregard your value because they don't understand how to protect your interests.
Wow.
If I love you, I love her. I can't overstep those boundaries verbally. That's dangerous.
That's good.
My love for her love for me, right?
Yeah.
It's go ahead, babe. I'm sorry. I'm talking too much.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
We're about out of time.
Yeah, we're about to run out of time. But we're really big on this. We're really big on this boundary thing. And I don't think we meant to do it. We just saw the damage we were creating for our partner. And we decided I don't want to hurt her like that.
Exactly.
And I don't want to hurt him like that. And if somebody really loves you, they'll start defining boundaries to protect you.
Even in relationship.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All of a sudden, I start saying, I don't like what I did does to her. So I started making changes for her. And she started making them for me. Love is not supposed to hurt that bad.
It's not.
Love ain't supposed to have you sitting on the side of the bed wishing you were somewhere else. No, love is supposed to feel what I feel looking at her tonight and wishing I could, kiss her good night and hug her, and I gotta go clutch a pillow. No, I'm serious about that because that's what people are missing. People are missing that love is supposed to make you feel God loved you enough to give you somebody who won't let you feel like you by yourself, even when you're not with them. I ain't never alone, even when I'm by myself. I always got her.
That's true.
We used to sing a song in my church I grew up. While on others thou art calling, Lord, do not pass me by.
I promise you he won't. Sometimes the best relationship is the one in front of you that you won't trust.
All right. Good night, saints.
So do we finish this next month?
Yeah, yes,
that was good.
Yes, we could. We could finish.
We get a little extra 5 minutes. That's all right. It's good, a little extra 5 minutes.
Okay, we'll give you 2.5 extra minutes.
That man told you the antidote is working. Now they got to go into their secret marriage closet. Now the antidote is.
I'll throw this one out, and then next month we'll come back and finish this. Number 4, I think, is really big. And number 4 says, commit to a vision of a better you. My wife and I, and when I talk about a better you, I'm not talking about you as an individual. I'm talking about the couple. My wife and I have a picture of what we want our life to look like. And we're working towards it. We have a picture. Go ahead, okay.
So either one of you all could answer this. How do you help nudge or motivate when one of the other is not as motivational or as faithful to the assignment or the vision that you all have agreed upon without, Bishop, you said it earlier, women oftentimes are mothering, right? So, but she has to make sure that you don't become her son. Right. And you have to make sure that you don't offend her by saying, well, dog, we supposed to have this done 2 weeks ago. Like, how do you work through those spaces of tension while being firm but not being offensive?
Boy, you had good questions tonight. Boy, you got your good question though. You need to be congested every month.
Listen, I ain't doing nothing but thinking and reading the last 3 days.
Bae, you
answer. You do that so well. You answer that because I'm the one that needs the motivation. So please answer.
You know what I've discovered? You keep asking them what they want to become, and then you help them become it while you're becoming.
Yeah.
I don't personally need inspiration,
right?
But I need affirmation.
I get it.
You got me?
Yep.
I'm gonna get up, and you've known me for 20-something, 30 years, 20-something years. You know I'm gonna grind.
Right.
It don't matter. Sharice, you watch me as I'm gonna grind. My wife knows she ain't gotta ask me nothing. She ain't gotta tell me get up and go to work. She ain't gotta tell me what you doing, why you just sitting here. In fact, sometimes she says, why don't you just sit here? Right? I'm the dean at 57. Who does that? Sit your butt down. You got a good church. You got a great life. Why don't you just go be quiet? My wife needed the motivation because of where her head was in managing me in life. And so my early mistakes was I didn't celebrate what she was trying to do because I needed it to fit into the bigger picture of us, which was typically me. This last few years, I've discovered she's got to be successful doing her because she's built to never leave me. But I'm not fair if she never discovers herself. So she made this great commitment to becoming healthy. But the commitment came alongside of doing the book. And everybody need to get ready because the book's coming out. And we want to be able to talk about the book next month. How about we do that? Talk about the book.
I mean, we can talk about the book next week.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all work with her schedule. I ain't got to.
Yes.
I'm just a boot thing. I'm not a public relations person. So, but she needs one because I think this book's gonna blow up. But it's interesting. I discovered she needed to succeed while being my wife without me being the cause.
So she's not just the bishop's wife.
No, she is Sanjanique. Lee Guns all day long, every day. And she has her own production, the own thing she's produced. I had to grow up and be good with that. Because when you're married to somebody like me, my life can consume the whole family. Everybody can be consumed by the size of whatever this life is God's given us. But my wife is done amazing. She's doing amazing. I'm so proud of her. And she's building out her own space. But that space is not disrespectful of me. Right. Bae, you please say something in the next 2.5 minutes because we're about to go.
That was just perfectly said. I mean, yeah, that's what you did. You gave me the nudge without being disrespectful, without making me feel, it was, yeah, you gave me the encouraging words that I needed when I needed it. It's like, this is what you want to do it. And you provided a atmosphere, an oasis for me to really be able to produce what I needed to produce. And you never made me feel like I was neglecting you or neglecting my home. You did what I needed you to do to pick up the slack. And it was a team effort. And that's not easily done. That takes maturity. That takes, commitment. That takes love. So.
And it's interesting, as we, I think Akeem and Sharice, I think the tough part of this is that God gave us both big stuff at the same time. I became the dean of this school, and she was working on health and writing a book. But I think God used the space to give us the room. And then he gave us the intimacy, so the room never became a reason for disconnection. Yeah. Because, real talk, she needed me in Richmond to finish this book. As strange as that sounds, it was okay. And I'll say this. So sometimes couples have got to trust that they're strong, even while they're dealing with it. And I'm looking at her face and she's going, I don't agree with that. And I get it, but I'm telling you.
You in Richmond?
No, I'm telling you. I'm trying to get you to see this. All right. I sound like my brother. I sound like my brother. That was scary.
But you can't make it sound like I wouldn't have completed it.
No. You would have completed it.
Yeah.
But let me be very clear. Your loyalty to me as your husband would have had you trying to take care of stuff for me.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe.
And honestly, the fact that I am here, you had the freedom of completing it without the weight of doing for me what I know you would have done.
Okay.
I mean, and again, every marriage ain't built to manage our dynamic.
Right.
But to be very transparent, I watched you work. I watched your rhythm, and your rhythm brought, because remember, August, you didn't think you were going to be able to finish this book by your deadline.
Yeah.
And not only did you finish it by deadline, you finished it ahead.
Mhm.
I watched your rhythm. And transparently, I'm more happy for you than I've ever been for me in anything that's ever happened to me.
Mm,
I am so happy for you
thank you.
because you deserve it. And I'm just happy for you. It blesses, it makes me being your husband meaningful that my wife is fulfilling her purpose.
I can relate to that because I feel the same way.
I know.
Yeah.
I watched you when you had to, put together this. I mean, literally build out this apartment. I mean, I watched you work until you were exhausted, making sure that this is such a calm and it. I've been in this place 3 straight days and ain't left except to go to the grocery store. And oh, by the way, I went to the grocery store today, but I'll tell you why the bill is $174. So yeah, I did, but we'll talk about it. So
Okay.
I know,
Boundaries.
What?
but there's a reason why, and I don't even know I said that in public. So,
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right.
but I'll close with this, and then Ben, you can say something. Then we'll turn it over to the amazing host, co-host.
Spent $174 at Food Lion. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Okay.
She pulled
Pulled
it.
it
She
up
pulled up.
on the cell phone.
Oh,
This is not, oh, this is not a joke. This is not a. She said this is not a drill. This
Yeah,
is this. Is,
it is not a drill.
oh,
but let me tell you what's so amazing about that. Here's what's amazing about it. We both have access to everything that is John and Sanjani.
we do.
So she could pull it up because it ain't here. I ain't got no credit card she can't find. I ain't got nothing. She ain't gonna discover nothing on my last day. Like this Negro. No. But
I'm like Pastor G. Let me go to the hospital first. Let me go first. Don't you go in the room just yet.
take the phone, right? Ain't got to worry about that.
Oh, Lord.
I want to close. Here's my closing statement. Toxins are only going to stay when a couple is blind to how damaging it is. When a couple opens their eyes to what it is and then is committed to each other, toxins are gonna go because you're gonna work at it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna work at it until it gets better. And I promise you, my wife and I are living witnesses.
And
When
if
you identify, they're gonna get
but
better.
but
Go
if
ahead,
you
man.
don't work on it, that's a sign that you don't want the relationship.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. And when you defend the toxin, I mean, she said it early. This is just who I am. Well, if who you are is damaging me, then your who you are
You got to
is
go.
demonic, or you are not for me.
Wow. I heard someone say before, um, the lady asked the guy, what will you do to obtain what God said you are to get? And he said to her, I don't know, I can't be for you what you need because I don't know how to be it for myself.
Wow.
And to go and to go and be what you need will require me to expose some things that I can't deal with and would make me suicidal.
Wow.
That was on an African movie on Netflix. And I said, wow.
Wow, I ain't watching that.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah, that's deep.
So if the Lord show you this is the end, it doesn't absorb you. If the Lord show you your blessing, it does not absorb you of the work that's required to get the blessing
There you go.
That's
and
good.
to keep the blessing and and maintain it. So just because the Lord said this is it doesn't mean it comes perfect. There's a work that has to be done by both parties and or things to achieve that. And I think oftentimes in relationships we forget that we still have to continue to do the work.
That's work.
Relationships will work every day,
Mhm.
but if you don't value the labor, then you'll never experience the harvest.
Oh,
That's good.
It's work every day.
oh.
That's good. Pastor G, I'll yield to you, man.
That's it. That's it. It's work. Invest. It's an investment, and it's work.
Yeah.
I think relationships are like anything natural. We're talking about toxins. The easiest way to rid your body of toxins is to put the good stuff in. It has to naturally flush itself out, right?
Mhm.
So I think if we continue to just be kind and understanding, all of that to one another, hopefully it'll flush this. But I want to just say thank you for showing the world that people could live in Virginia and in Jacksonville and still maintain a healthy relationship. I'm so grateful for that wonderful example that you all show the world. Good night, Saints.
Thank you guys for having us on.
Thank y'all.
We love you guys. You two are amazing, and we thank you, Ray. I was so much pettiness in that. I'm moving on. Thank you, Ray, for being the best producer, and Sandra Lee Guns. You are all that.
That's it.
Keep pushing. I can't wait to get this book. Even if it's for women, I'm buying one.
Absolutely.
You are all
That hit me. No, that hit. I'm a little slow sometimes, but that putting the good stuff in,
Oh Lord,
that was
it
good.
gotta flush the
Cause see,
bad stuff
look,
out.
see, like the water that I choose to drink.
My
See,
Lord.
happy cells, happy body.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, it's heavy on. I mean, it's heavy on what alkaline. It's
Oh
high
yeah.
alkaline, and all right. We gotta go. Love y'all.
Yeah, we
Put
got
the
to go.
good stuff in. The good stuff in that
See,
relationship.
relationship Wednesdays really need to be an hour. Because just on that Wednesday, because people don't do relationships well.
We
It's a
don't.
proven fact.
No.
Yeah.
62% of black females would never marry.
Mm.
57% of black males will not marry. That is a very small percentage. That's because we don't do relationships well.
And I'll offer this. In order to do relationships well, you got to be willing to be well to do it.
Mm.
It is just
Ooh, so, Bishop, I know we gotta go. I got one last question. You just stirred something up. This
sure.
is the most important question I'm
I
gonna
don't
probably
never
ask.
see Bishop.
Should you heal and then get in a relationship, or is it okay for people to heal while they're in relationships?
That's good.
I honestly believe you heal while in.
Mm.
And let me
Okay.
tell you why I believe that.
That's good.
Because sometimes your healing process, when done alone, doesn't qualify you for anybody but you.
Woo!
Great God
Say
Almighty.
that again. Say that one more time. Woo!
I don't
Yeah.
have no white sheets in my house, so I'm just throwing this.
Good.
No, I mean, if I'm being healed, but I'm not being healed in context,
Yeah.
then what's going to happen is whatever I'm going to call healed is not going to qualify me to walk with anybody.
Mm.
So my attitude is, even if you're going through healing and it ain't a intimate relationship, you at least need a best friend, somebody relationally who can mark and measure your process.
That's good.
I mean, that's why today everybody's, heavy on therapy and counseling. Because, and I'll be honest, I'm not the man I am without Sanjani. And one of the dangers is this. Here's one of the dangers. When the right person is in your life, they don't take credit even if you give it to them. Because they understand they're a part of the process. And so my wife has helped me to become like, listen, today I had a really interesting day, right? And I had emotions today I couldn't even imagine I would ever have. Walking through some of the processes and the weight of everything, and every now and then, right? Rarely, but today was one of those days. And I called my wife, and in an unhealthy relationship, you're embarrassed to show them vulnerability. Because a man always thinks he's in charge. What I've discovered is I'm most in charge when I'm most honest. But she's given me room where I'm not judged by it. Right? Where she's not going to bring it up tomorrow and say, listen, you weak Negro. She's going, so immediately she went into prayer for me. And then the moment she prayed for me on the phone, I know she got off the phone and prayed for me. And it was interesting. I was grateful I didn't have to lie to keep her trust in me. Mm-hmm. I was grateful that my vulnerability was confirming that I trusted her. Nothing is worse than walking out destiny and hitting those valleys and having to walk them out alone. You got dreams, but you're dreaming and your spouse or your partner or whoever doesn't know how to manage the moments when you're not really inspired today, but you need to be pushed. So you know what she did for me today? She made today manageable. So now it's 10:19, and I'm better because when it got really crazy for a minute, Sanjanique was the one who answered the phone.
I didn't feel the need to lie.
I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't feel the need to engage in distorted, dysfunctional masculinity to prove strength. The strength was in my honesty, not in my hiddenness. And I'm good. But that woman right there has created that space. So for most of us, we want great relationships, but we're not always very good people in the process. A great relationship is two people who just decide they just gonna make this thing do what it do. And it's crazy. Let your guard down and trust the access you give, and the possibilities behind the access will give you the legitimacy of the choice you make. It works. And Akeem, you know me. You know the world I live in. There ain't a time I'm sitting at a dinner table, I don't talk about my wife.
So I was blown away. Was it last week? We were out, you and I were conversing, in the middle of nowhere with noise in the background, y'all stopped to pray.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't want to touch and agree with me, like my prayers didn't work or something. Like I was trying to, but yeah, as comical as it wasn't like, hey, I'm out. So this goes back to respecting boundaries. And I know, Pastor G, you're cool enough that he could have said, I'll hit you when I get to the room, right? I'm out with a king. But there was nothing that was more important than whatever ritual or boundary that you all had set, regardless of the place, right? I remember him even saying, I know it's loud in here, but go ahead, I got you. And he put his phone on mute for you to do your, I didn't even say this to him. I'm just sitting there like in amazement, like this is different for me. Like you can't text a prayer. Like I mean, I'll call you when I get to the room. Let's pray in the morning. But that was important just to see that it's the small things that matter, right? Nobody is impressed now to see couples walking in church holding hands and you putting up a social media post on and like that stuff. It is the simple things for me that show that when you do the simple things, right, it's the little small things that add up to the big. I'm not impressed if he went out and bought you a G-Wagon tomorrow, like, he balling like that, right? I'm not impressed by that. It's the simple things that I know you can't fake praying for each other.
Yeah.
I can go max out a credit card and buy a gift. That don't mean nothing.
Right.
I can't fake you. This man saying on a live that you help miles away, help him manage his day. That he didn't feel the need to like that. That's the stuff we don't talk about in relationships, right?
Right.
I don't care about where y'all went on vacation. Like that's, what I'm saying? Like that's the, I think we have to get deeper because those are moments that help stuff last. But it also comes with maturity, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch my mom and dad. I used to watch my mom and dad every night at 7 p.m. pray. And I watched how they made that their time. I remember one time my mom, before my mom died, maybe about 3 or 4 months before she died, I was in the house, I was preaching, and I was in the house, and I'll never forget, my dad walked in, my mom looked at him, and she said, "Frank, thank you for being my friend."
Wow.
After 69 years.
Yeah.
And my dad did something amazing. He knew my mom liked to still kind of move around the house cooking. So he lowered the kitchen so she could store the pot. When you love somebody, you make adjustments. Don't keep the stove higher than they can reach.
I'm fit enough.
Just make adjustments.
Wow.
Where's she stupid? Make adjustments. Make adjustments. I love being with my wife. I do, but I know how amazing she is, and this season is hers. It's her season. It's her season. Akeem, is her season.
It's
I
our
love it.
season.
It's her season.
It's ours.
I'm still stuck on I didn't feel the need to, like, you don't even know as a man what that says, that whole I didn't feel the need to lie, because most of the time,
Yeah,
men are so used to being strong that
yeah,
vulnerability in and of itself, women don't even know how much a man's vulnerability is more than him adding you on as an authorized user to any American Express he could ever have.
that's big.
A man being vulnerable with you is bigger than any access. And for you to say whatever it was you were dealing with, I didn't feel the need to lie for her to still be with me is absolutely, yeah, that was worth tonight.
But I'll tell you this though, and this is huge. A woman has got to be strong enough to let the man be weak, and then be weak enough to not make him feel bad when the moment of weakness is over and he has to go back to being strong. If a woman sees a weak moment in a man as a statement of the man's weakness, then she's going to remind him in moments that's not going to be good for him. But if a woman is comfortable with the man being that in the moment that she knows it ain't, listen, my wife has seen me stand up and deal with anything and everything. And she's also seen me feel like I can't carry anything. And that's the genius of a healthy. And so I would say this to sisters. If you want a strong man, let him be weak. Let him have his moment. And all your job is in that moment is not to fix him. It's to just let him have it. Because he's going to always come back to strength because that's who he's built to be. My wife knows I'm a strong man in quotes, but she is able to give me room with her in the room and keep it to herself. Nobody would have known about the day if I hadn't mentioned it because she wasn't telling it. She wasn't picking up the phone and calling her sister friends or whoever, her girlfriend, and say, "Girl, this man in here going." So she said, "Baby, I got you." And she said one thing to me today, Akeem, that messed me up. She said, "You are strong enough to handle it, but you have this moment because I know you're gonna be okay." Negro, you strong enough to handle this, but you go ahead and have this. Because I know what this is over with, I know who I'm married to. I'm married to John Gunn. I know what you can do. So, well, we've enjoyed it. It's been great.
It's been amazing, as always.
And thank you all. And we'll be back next month. But my wife's book is going to come out soon. And so we're excited about it. We're excited. And I know she said this is our season, and I get that, babe. But I'm pushing you because you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it.
Maybe she could do a interview excerpt on that on NightCap.
Absolutely.
That's right. Next Wednesday.
Get some pre-sales going.
Wait, but hold on. Let me check her schedule.
Check her schedule. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's free, guy. She free.
She's free.
She free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, honestly, I want to wait because it's not coming out until November.
Okay.
So that was just my cover reveal for my birthday.
Oh.
You got pre-sales launching already?
No, I haven't. Somebody asked me that today.
Yeah, that's why we get pre-sales.
Yes, I thought that's why you do it.
Come on next week and let's get these pre-sales popping.
We get a link, Ray or somebody can get a link next week. We get these pre-sales. And hey.
The way Ray move, you'll have one tonight.
In fact, Ray probably working on it today.
Right now. I was waiting for it to pop up.
The only reason it ain't popped up is that he ain't figured out where to send the money. He already working on it. I know him. We know him well. Yeah. But listen, thank you all. I think you ought to come back next week to start these presets. That's what I think. Everybody who watching, don't you think she need to come back? And will you buy the book? If you'll buy the book, put it in the thread. Put it in the thread.
Really?
I'll go buy the book. I love you all so much.
Thank you. I love you all.
And see, they're looking at people say, I'll make sure I tag you all. There it is. People already gonna say they're gonna buy it.
Please. Thank you, Miss Williams. Listen, guys, this has been NightCap. This is my favorite part of NightCap. And so, y'all, Dr. Walker, did you make a good grade?
I did. You know, when you're in grad school, it's like I'm just glad to just to pass the class. Amen.
Just pass the class. Amen. Thank you, Lordy. So we thank you all for tuning in. Listen, share this live for those of you that will, please, so people can go back and watch it. There were some great gems dropped tonight. I didn't say a lot. I was taking notes. I was in student mode, so I hope you were too. But we do this every Wednesday night at 9:30. So usually they're 30-minute sessions, but tonight I hadn't seen my bishop in a long time, and so I think this was an amazing moment. So look for those pre-sales that's going to be coming. Tag someone. Because Lady G's book is going to be amazing. And don't worry, she'll be on NightCap, dropping all the gems, giving all the teas, and when the book is coming. We got y'all. Until then, oh, wait, Bishop.
What? Oh, yeah, we got to do it. By the way, St. Paul opens up on Sunday, 9 o'clock. So we're back in person.
We're back in business.
And I'm preaching Sunday, the psychology of great givers. What makes somebody a great giver? The psychology. You ready? Sharice, I've missed this time. 1, 2, 3. Da, 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 da. I do miss that part.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.
Akeem, I'm going to hit you up later, man. I'm going to hit you tomorrow.
Okay.
Feel better.